What is going on, Gridiron fans? I am the Gridiron Guy, and this is my Jags offseason review. Alright, if you haven't been here before, please click that subscribe button. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this video, if you enjoy this content. Also, click that little bell to get notifications for the future videos. Alright, so I'm trying something new here. I wanted to break down the offseason of a few teams. So I decided to start with the Jags. You know, first pick, first video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over this offseason potential targets for free agency. I'm also going to go over the cap space and the draft. Okay? Players they should be targeting in the draft, whether or not they get some of the free agents that they get. Alright? So, let's get started. So, this offseason, the Jags will have $77 million in cap space. Okay? Their team needs are corner, safety, edge, wide receiver, tackle, and quarterback. We already know they're going to address quarterback in the draft, so we can just pluck that one off of there. Okay, so here are some free agents that they need to be targeting. Anthony Harris, John Johnson, Desmond King, and Hunter Henry. You know, they could use a good tight end presence on this team. They don't have one. They had Tyler, I'm injured all the time, Eifert. But they bring in a guy like Hunter Henry, it's over. Like, this offense could take that next step, especially if they grab Trevor Lawrence in the draft. You know, some of the receivers they already have here are pretty good. We all know Urban Meyer's a good offensive mind. So, if they can just land one corner in this offseason, they won't need to address corner in the draft, and they could focus on offensive line, defense in general. They won't have to worry about cornerback, though. If they can land Desmond King or John Johnson, you know, can play nickel and free safety. I mean, he's versatile. Anthony Harris is one of the best free safeties in the league. You know, so if they can land some of these guys, but I have another list here too. Okay, if they're able to get Dalvin Tomlinson, they don't have to worry about defensive tackle in the draft. They could bring in a nice veteran presence in their wide receiver room. Bring in T.Y. Hilton. A guy like Jadeveon Clowney could help out their defensive line tremendously. He is a really, really good run stuffer. But he can't get to the quarterback. You know, he's not the power rusher that he was when he was with the Texans because he had J.J. Watt. But if you're asking him to be like the sole guy on the D-line, then he's not going to get a ton of sacks. They're going to shift his way, whatever. But if they're able to get a guy like Mike Hilton or Desmond King, maybe they just have to draft a nickel guy in the draft. Or, you know, if they can land Anthony Harris, John Johnson, you know, just getting 2 or 3 of these 8 players could help out their team tremendously. And that's possibly 2 or 3 spots they won't have to address in the draft, which could lead to them getting better quality players. All right, speaking of the draft, let's move on to the draft. Okay, with the first pick in the draft, the Jags take quarterback Trevor Lawrence, 6'6", 220, out of Clemson. Okay. We all know what Trevor Lawrence is. Had a great pro day. He's won a national championship. He went 34-2 in college. You know, he's had a great career in college. Most pro-ready quarterback since Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck came out, what, 9 years ago. So, really, this is the best quarterback to come out in the draft in about a decade. All right? So, Urban Meyer takes Trevor Lawrence. And Trevor Lawrence isn't exactly a pocket quarterback. This guy can run. This guy can be mobile. He can run. He's got a long stride. He's 6'6". So even just having like 4.5 or 4.6 speed actually just makes him seem faster because he's got such a long stride. He's such a big guy. All right. Moving on. Pick number 25. Edge Jalen Phillips. 6'5", 258 out of Miami University. Okay, now this guy transferred. He was playing for UCLA. The Pac-12 decided they're not playing football this year because of COVID. Well, he opted out, and he transferred to the University of Miami because, as you know, the ACC and the SEC said, yeah, we're playing football this year. So they did. And Jalen Phillips transferred because Gregory Rousseau opted out. So, comes in, wears his number and everything. But Jalen Phillips had a pretty good year this year, and he probably would have been a fringe 4th round pick, 3rd round pick. But by him making that move to Miami and transferring, helped him out a lot. He's going to go in or around the 1st round. He probably goes mid-2nd round. No later than the 2nd round, though. This guy's earned himself a high draft status. All right. Like I said, if they can't get Hunter Henry, and most likely they won't be able to get him, Hunter Henry is probably going to re-sign with the Chargers. If not, he might go to a place, he may not be looking for money. He may be looking for an opportunity to win, like the Patriots or, Packers, or I don't know, just somewhere where he has a chance to win and win now. All right, but tight end, Pat Freiermuth, 6'5", 250 out of Penn State. This guy is a baller. He can play. This guy will play next to one of your tackles. You're not going to line him up out wide like you would with Kyle Pitts. You might put him in the slot every once in a while, line him up there just to create mismatches with the safety. But ultimately, this guy's a true tight end. You're going to line him up next to a tackle, and he's going to go out for passes. He'll go over the middle. He's going to be a red zone threat. This guy's 6'5", 250. He can go up and high point the ball. This guy's a true tight end, and he's not a hybrid like Kyle Pitts. All right, with pick number 45, offensive tackle Alex Leatherwood, 6'5", 312 at Alabama. Now, Alex Leatherwood is a blindside tackle. Now, what I mean by that is when Tua Tagovailoa was the quarterback, Alex Leatherwood played right tackle because that's Tua's blindside because he was a lefty. So now, this year when Mac Jones was the quarterback, Alex Leatherwood moved over to left tackle. So this guy has had experience at right tackle and left tackle. That's huge going into the NFL. And he played at Alabama, which means he is pro ready. This guy could walk in and he will be their Cam Robinson replacement. If Cam Robinson decides to leave in free agency, Alex Leatherwood is your guy. All right. So now if they're not able to get, or maybe if they're only able to get John Johnson or only able to get Anthony Harris, with pick number 65, safety Javon Holland, 6'1", 196 out of the University of Oregon. This guy can play. He flies around the field. Okay? This guy's also a track guy. Alright? Just like the next guy is a track guy. Alright? But you pair him with a guy like John Johnson or Anthony Harris, you have the makings of a good secondary already. Especially if you're able to pick up, John Johnson and Desmond King. Bring this guy in. Now your secondary is set. You would have Javon Holland. You would have John Johnson. You'd have Desmond King, and C.J. Henderson. You have your starters, and they're all quality caliber. All right. But now, if you're not able to land Desmond King or John Johnson or Mike Hill, and if you're not able to bring in a corner to start, then you're going to have to throw 2 corners at it. So, pick 106, Kelvin Joseph, 6'1", 191. This guy is a baller. Plays press man coverage. He can play zone coverage. This guy could be... He's an outside-only guy. So, if they bring him in, he's going to play outside. Hopefully opposite C.J. Henderson. But if this guy doesn't work out, that's why we have the next guy. Alright, this next guy, Avery Thomas. Pick number 130, cornerback Avery Thomas, 6 foot, 189, out of University of Michigan. This guy's a dog. This guy's been starting for 3 years. And Avery Thomas is an outside guy. That Michigan defense, as you know, has been pretty good over the past couple of years. You know, it hasn't been amazing, but it's been pretty damn good. So, guys coming out of Michigan, they're ready. They're ready to play in the NFL. So between him and Kelvin Joseph, one of them's got to hold it down. All right, for this next guy, this is an Urban Meyer pick. All right, pick number 146, wide receiver Anthony Schwartz, 6 foot, 179, out of Auburn. This guy's a track guy. Okay? This guy's a speedster. I don't know how fast he is because there's not going to be a combine, but I'm sure on Auburn Pro Day it's going to look something like a 4.2 or a 4.3, because if this guy's a track guy, he's going to be up there. Okay? This is an Urban Meyer pick because Urban Meyer loves these guys. Urban Meyer loves these speedsters, these little scat back type guys. You can line them up in the backfield in a shotgun set, or you can put them in the slot. You could do end arounds with them. You could do shovel passes. Just get these guys the ball, basically, is what Urban Meyer says. Just get guys like this the ball. And I got another guy coming up. He is just... Now, this guy reminds me of Percy Harvin, which, as you remember, was a guy that Urban Meyer had back in the day. It is pick 171, wide receiver Whop Fillmore. Fillior. 5'11", 185 out of the University of Indiana. Okay, his full name is Mr. Elias D'Angelo Fillior. Now, this guy is a dog, too. This guy is a speed guy. You can get him screens. He'll play the slot. This guy is also a return man. So now this guy can make your return game better. Okay? You know Urban Meyer is going to come in and he's going to want guys like this. Guys with speed. Okay? I keep alluding to Percy Harvin. You know, he liked having guys like Percy Harvin who could do it all. Alright. Moving on. Now, you've already grabbed Alex Leatherwood. Why not double down and get, with pick 223, offensive tackle Josh Ball, 6'8", 350, at a University of Marshall. This guy is, obviously, he's huge. Okay? This is the kind of guy you're going to want, because you can't teach size. You especially can't teach size like this. This is Mekhi Becton big. Okay? This is a big dude. You know, this is definitely not a guy you put at guard. But if this guy pans out, if he can actually be something, even if he can be a swing tackle, you know, a sixth offensive lineman, maybe you line him up in like jumbo sets and whatever. You know, you put him at tackle, then you put Pat Freiermuth next to him. Oh my gosh. James Robinson will not have a hard time running the football. I can guarantee you that with some of these guys. Alright. So now, obviously, as you can see, I doubled down on a lot of these spots of need. But as I was going through, you know, players were just falling in place for me to double down. Double down on edge, double down on wide receiver, double down on corner, and double down on tackle. They all happen to be needs, but if you can double down on some of your needs, you're bound to hit one of them. Okay? So now with pick 244, edge rusher, Taron Jackson, 6'2", 260 out of Coastal Carolina. This guy is a beast. To get him in the 7th round is incredible. Okay, he's probably fallen because he went to Coastal Carolina. Even though they had a great year this year, you know, still a smaller school, you know, little, not recognized. Okay, but this guy posted 18 sacks and 26.5 TFLs in the past 2 seasons. That's pretty good. That is pretty damn good, even for college standards. Okay, so this guy has been productive at getting to the quarterback and productive at getting off of blocks and causing tackles in the backfield. Okay, so to get a guy like this in the 7th round who's already been productive, you know, maybe you take his skill set and make him a little better. This guy is going to be nothing but a help to your team. So I say you go out and get a guy like this in the 7th round. He's bound to make your team. He's bound to make your team better. Maybe he's a rotational guy. Maybe he's a 3rd or a 4th guy. You know, maybe you pop him inside every once in a while. He's not that tall, but, you know, maybe if you're able to get a Jadeveon Clowney, now you have like 5 or 6 guys that you can rotate. You know, inside, outside, whatever. But now you have a monster offensive line, and Saxonville might be back. You already got Josh Allen, so maybe you can just build around that. Miles Jack, C.J. Henderson, they already have some pieces on this defense. If they could get, you know, 5 or 6 pieces between the draft and free agency, there's no reason why this team can't turn it around in year 1. Especially with Trevor Lawrence creating that consistency on the offensive side of the ball. Alright, so did you enjoy my video? If so, please click that subscribe button. Really helps me out a lot. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Click that little bell to get notifications for future uploads. And I am the Gridiron Guy, and I am out.